What's up, y'all?
Hey, everybody.
Time to subscribe.
Welcome back.
Well, welcome back too.
Let's go.
And then,
Let's do
subscribe.
this. Let's do this.
You know what I mean?
Just between you and me, this is nice. There's no tricks. Ooh, there's love.
Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast, your place to level up your intimacy.
Yes.
We're excited because we're with Paragon 7.
Just what do I have to do to let you know? Should I make you
Last J Radio Network.
Should I make it rain?
And this week was an interesting week because our son was out of town. This is his first time being gone from us for that many days, from like Tuesday to Sunday. So not quite a week, but a longer period of time than we're used to.
Yeah.
He's,
We're usually gone. Not usually, but I'm saying we would leave for
but-
a weekend maybe.
Yes, exactly.
Here and there, but never a whole week.
But that's different from
us.
him leaving,
That's
right?
true.
I mean,
That's
we're the ones still at home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it just felt different around here. I think
It
our son is
did.
becoming a man.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? It's a feeling like how it's going to feel in a couple of years when he goes to, not even a couple of years, like a year and a half.
Yeah, he'll be in college soon, which is
Yeah.
crazy. We're about to be empty nesters.
I'm like, oh.
That deserves some
But
kind
he
of a
did
hand
text
clap.
us back when we would text him.
Which is good, yeah. So anyway, he was
I
gone
appreciated
with
that.
his basketball team, the TA Tigers, Tacoma
Mm-hmm.
Academy Tigers. They were in Texas for a basketball tournament. They won the championship.
Y'all, they won.
And so we're very excited for them for being able to
It
pull
was
that thing
so
off. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Probably some kind of air horn or something like that. But they won't. They won't get that.
They
you know what I'm saying?
swept several teams.
They did. They actually won. I don't know if they lost. I don't know if they won a game by less than 25. They were beating
Right.
each team. Kind of clobbering them. So
Yeah, they did great.
So congratulations to them, and we're happy that John's home. And
Yes, we are.
That's what it feels like to be empty nesters. Well, Julia was here still.
She
so
was, and she was missing her brother a lot.
She was. That's true.
Yeah, so I told her get herself ready because
Right. It's gonna
this
be
is
different in a
coming.
second. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All right, babe. So something's been going on with you lately. So those of you that don't know my wife is, listen, she's a wonderful
Oh,
person.
no.
She's lovely. There's absolutely nothing wrong with her. My wife gets, I don't want to say the word obsessed. She just gets focused sometimes on particular
Yes,
things.
focus.
Yeah, focus is a good word. It's not obsession. Because
I like to educate myself.
Right. That's definitely true. And you've been educating yourself lately a lot about narcissism.
Yes.
And there's somebody you follow now. I think you follow them on social media.
Yes,
and
I
you've been
do.
looking at some stuff. And I thought that would be a good, well, you brought it up actually as, why don't we talk to our audience about this?
Yes.
Because I think there are other people dealing with narcissists,
I
people
did.
that are in relationships with narcissists.
Yes, and we know that because we have some people who've come to us about this.
Yes, we have.
They're living with a narcissist.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do.
Right. Yeah. And that's, so I think we need to start by kind of defining, because you've been doing enough research with it now that you probably know the difference. I think we throw the word narcissism around a lot. We say
do.
narcissist
We do.
a lot.
We do.
I think it started in the previous administration that we had. People were
Yes.
talking about our commander-in-chief being a narcissist a lot. We were talking about that. And I also think the word narcissist has been used a lot lately from baby boomers as they describe millennials. Because I believe baby boomers hate millennials. I don't know why. I don't know what that is.
I don't either. But I think that sometimes we look at people who seem like they are so self-absorbed, and then we say they're
That's
narcissistic.
not right. Exactly.
But it's more to it than that.
Well,
it's a lot more to it than that.
It sounds like there is an actual diagnosis. I think the shortened name is NPD. Is that correct? What is that?
Narcissistic personality
Disorder.
Narcissist personality
I
disorder.
think you said it right. Narcissistic
Okay.
personality disorder.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of in
That's
there.
right. A lot of
narcissistic personality disorder. Yes.
Yeah.
And so, let me just say what a narcissist is
Okay.
according to a
Yes.
narcissistic. Okay, so NPD.
Yes.
Okay, is a mental condition.
Okay.
It's actually a mental condition.
Okay.
In which people have an inflated sense of their own importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others.
So you can be a person who likes looking in the mirror, or you can be a person who likes attention and not necessarily have NPD.
Right. Right. And it says here, but behind this mask of extreme confidence lies a fragile self-esteem that's vulnerable to the slightest criticism. And that's one thing that I've experienced with some narcissists that
you know.
I am in contact with.
Yes.
And that is, you can't tell them nothing.
Okay.
Okay, you can't tell them nothing. All
Right.
right. But this really is a condition, and it's deep because there's not much you can do as the person who's living with this narcissist. There are some things you can do, but not much to change them, but to help your situation be a little bit better.
Yes.
But you're not going to change them.
Okay, so as you were doing your little research, right, as you were listening to your, it wasn't a podcast.
No.
This guy's like...
He is, okay, his handle is at mental healness, Healness. Healness.
H-E-A-L.
Not heal.
Well, my wife's from the South. You know what I'm saying? Some people, heal and heal. You know what I'm saying? Sound like the same thing.
Healness.
Mental
okay.
healness.
I have to catch myself when that
Baby, that's okay.
Georgia comes
Ain't
out.
nothing
Okay.
wrong with that, girl.
Mental healness.
Right.
That's at mental healness.
Yes.
That's his IG.
Yes. And he's a recovering narcissist, right?
He is a recovering narcissist.
Okay.
He is a narcissist.
Okay.
He's recovering.
Yes.
And he said he will always be one. Like, it's almost like an alcoholic. Like, they say, I'll always be an alcoholic.
Yes.
And so he has to fight through the things the characteristics that are part of narcissism.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
So he says that the behavior and trauma has been either passed down or the trauma that happened to you causes the narcissistic behavior because it actually changes the brain.
Wow.
Sometimes your PTSD or some things that you've gone through in your life. And they say a lot of people who have narcissism had some type of neglect from a parent specifically.
Okay.
And we'll talk about our former president. If you read his niece's book, which I read, his mother, there was some issues there with her being very sick and him she wasn't really involved as much. And the dad was very, just way too hands off as far as raising properly. You know what I mean? So there may have been some neglectment there that caused some of those issues.
And the former president's niece said she thinks he's a narcissist.
And she is a clinical therapist.
Okay, so she's going, wow.
And other clinical therapists who looked at him and his behavior during his presidency said that he had the classic narcissism. Wow. And so I think there are a lot of people out there that are dealing with this, but they're not able to really pinpoint it because it can kind of look sneaky because narcissists are very, very, they're smart.
Yes,
they are.
And
they
oftentimes
have intelligence.
Oftentimes they're very
charismatic. Very charismatic.
So people like them and stuff like that.
People like them.
And so people come to their defense and things like that.
Oh yeah. Because you're thinking there's no way they are doing this kind of thing on purpose. There's no way they actually have no empathy.
Yes.
But they don't. That's one of the characteristics.
So one of the things you saw is, as you've been looking at things, different movie stars and things like that. People probably automatically assume that if you're a movie star, you're a narcissist. Right. You're especially if you're like an A-list movie star that gets a lot of roles in movies and things like that. Maybe you're always getting attention. So the assumption is that person's definitely a narcissist because but that's probably not a good assumption.
I would say that no. I would say not. You wouldn't just normally think that because they get roles or they're the best at what they do that they're a narcissist. I think their response, the way that they act, that people then say they have to be a narcissist. But like Kanye West, everybody says he's a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? I think certain people. I don't know why, but they say Mariah Carey's one. I don't know her like that. I've never really, but she was on the list.
Right.
She was on the list. Mark Zuckerberg was on the list. Tiger Woods, unfortunately, I like Tiger Woods, but not that you know. And you can like narcissists. I'm not saying that, but they put him on the list.
Narcissists are likable people too.
They are.
Yes.
And several others were on this list, and I was like, okay, these are not people who went to therapists and they have claimed to be narcissists.
Okay. These are just people that are known in the industry as, he's a narcissist, she's a narcissist, stuff like that.
Right. Based on whatever they've experienced with them, whatever.
Okay.
But let me just name some of the symptoms that come from this.
Because we're trying to help people now who may be living with narcissists. how they can actually
possibly
identify the person that they're living with. And if they know they're living with a narcissist, maybe there's something they can do about it. Like you said earlier, maybe they can't change them. Maybe they can't make them not a narcissist anymore.
But you can help your own. It's going to be you that you can help your own. You can only help your own self. That's it. You're not, seriously.
Right. Yeah.
Based on my IG guy, who is a narcissist, he said nothing you can do.
He said nothing you can do.
He says there's nothing you can do.
He himself is
exactly. So symptoms.
Yeah. Okay.
Have an exaggerated sense of self-importance.
Okay.
Have a sense of entitlement. Okay. Expect to be recognized as superior, even without achievements.
Wow.
No achievements.
Just automatically.
Be preoccupied with fantasies about success and power. So making up stories about how you are successful, or tweaking stories that aren't really, you know, you know what I'm saying?
making this into something that shows that you are successthul and powerful, when in fact that wasn't that situation at all.
Right. You know, you played football in high school, and you talking about, I played football, you know, and trying to act like you played football all throughout college. And,
right.
You know what I mean? Like you were a football player.
You were a third string player for one season.
When you sat on the bench and you never did that, you know, just saying.
Right.
Expect special favors. Take advantage of others to get what you want. Have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. Be envious of other people.
Wow.
And believe others are envious of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Behave in an arrogant way. Insist on having the best of everything, like the best car, the best office, the best house. You deserve that.
Yeah.
And you ain't do nothing.
So it sounds, but it sounds to me like, you know, several of these things by themselves don't make up NPD by themselves, right?
Right, because you really could see somebody who thinks they deserve the best,
right?
And
they just like good stuff. You know what I'm saying? It might not necessarily be that, but I mean, it could be when you start putting all these symptoms together.
Yes.
Now, here's the question I have, though. If a person is, because this is one of the big things I heard about narcissism, is a lack of empathy.
Yes.
The inability to empathize with somebody else is like a big thing in this whole thing. So I would say if a person has several of these characteristics, including a lack of empathy, you might be in a relationship with a narcissist.
Right, and they say it's very hard to detect because, think about it. I mean, we have people who don't take responsibility for their actions.
Right.
That doesn't mean you're a narcissist.
Right.
You know, we have people who think that they're better than others. That doesn't mean you're a narcissist.
Right.
But I think it has to be a collection of these.
Yes.
You know?
If you have a combination of those. If you're with someone, like if just now, as April was reading those symptoms, you said to yourself, man, that is my wife. Man, that is my husband.
Or here's some other things.
You had several things there.
Yes, they feel depressed a lot, very moody. They are they can be addicts, you know, to drugs and things like that. Like they do not deal with stress. They do not adapt to change.
Wow.
You know, those types of things. So very difficulty regulating their emotions and behavior.
Wow.
You know, having difficulty with raising their children and all that kind of stuff. So and they like to gaslight as well. So here's what you can do if you are living with a narcissist.
Yeah.
First of all, you cannot do anything for them.
Right.
You
so don't
cannot
try to change them. Right.
They need, which our narcissist IG guy says, they need, and he needed and has been in therapy for 7 years.
Wow.
Ongoing.
Okay, so this is a regular thing. He's not giving that up.
Like if he gives it up, he knows he will fall back into those tendencies. Okay. And for you, if you are living with one, you will have to actually not allow him or her to cause you to react. And that's very hard. I mean, I've watched people have to keep themselves from reacting. So you said
gaslighting earlier. So a narcissist is trying to gaslight.
Exactly.
Trying to push your buttons, trying to get you to do
let me give you an example.
Right.
Who they'll say something like, I did this for you for years, and that wasn't true. I never did that particular thing. I never did that. He never or she never did that for you for years. And instead of you fighting back, saying no, you didn't. Yes, you did. No, you didn't. Yes, you did. You just say okay.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Because if you keep going back and forth,
I'm not going there with you.
I'm not going there with you.
I'm just not doing that.
And just not expecting them to have that empathy towards you, to not really care. Don't expect it.
What you're really saying is a person who's with a narcissist can decide I'm not going to enable them anymore.
Exactly.
Wow.
Which is hard.
That is hard, man. That's super hard.
That's very hard. And I think it takes a lot of
patience,
and
discernment,
I would even
probably
say courage.
Definitely courage to stand up.
To stand up and say,
no question,
I'm not taking this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, some people may have to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, you may have to leave the situation because it is a form of abuse.
At least temporarily, so that the narcissist can realize, hey,
if I don't get help, I'm going to lose my family.
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that might bring us to our word of the day. What is our word the day for today?
Word of the day is oppose.
Oppose. Wow. So this is kind of an antonym of the word enable. Mm-hmm. Oppose means to act against or provide resistance to. Yeah. So when you were looking up, because we had several words that I was trying to use as the word of the day, you kept saying, no, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. And the reason you kept opposing those words is because what you were saying was, we do not want to give the audience the impression that you can actually change the narcissist.
Right.
You said the focus of this show today should be the person who's in the relationship basically guarding their own mental health as opposed to trying to change the narcissist, because that's not how it works.
You don't have the tools to do that.
Wow.
You don't have the tools to do that.
Wow.
And that is what a clinical therapist needs to do. But in order for that to happen, the narcissist has to say, I do have a problem. I do need help. So let's go do this.
And so your opposition, your opposing of the narcissist, your taking action against or providing resistance to the things that they're doing, makes it more difficult for them to get their way around you, which may open up a door for them to say, you know what, I need to get help.
Exactly.
But at the very least, it will say, okay, I'm at least taking care of my mental health.
There you go. Because as long as you enable, the more abuse you will get. And studies show that the person who is being abused by the narcissist actually ends up having form of brain damage.
Whoa.
And there are certain things that go along with that, like short-term memory.
Oh my goodness.
Not being able to remember term memory loss.
Short-term memory loss.
Not memory loss, but
what is it?
But not being able to just not being able to bring back things to memory quickly.
Okay. Cognitive deficits.
Yes.
Let's call it that.
Not being able to I can't remember. It was something like short attention span.
Good. Glad you grabbed that, man.
Thank you.
Excellent. Short attention span. No, I'm serious. For you to be able to grab that when you were struggling like that.
And my memory is shot. But you are not a narcissist. But my memory is shot.
It's because of your lack of sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Lack of sleep.
That's the real problem.
But seriously, short attention span, not being able to, frontal lobe, where you're not able to make sound decisions.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is all from interacting with and living with a narcissist.
Yes, and that is because it has called PTSD. It's caused PTSD.
So
and
all
that is what
classic things.
Yes, man. There's so much more to this. This was not even close to enough time to talk about it. But the whole point is putting that out there so that people will know, hey, you don't have to live with that.
Yeah. If you are living with a narcissist, it sounds like there is hope for you, but it begins with opposition.
Yes,
it's time to stop enabling.
Yeah.
In fact, you may not even realize this is what you're doing. You may have just found out just now in this show that you are possibly living with a narcissist.
Yes.
It's time now to start getting serious. Tell them the name of that, where you're getting that from again, the IG handle.
Oh, yes. At Mental Healness.
Yeah.
Healness.
H-E-A-L-ness.
H-E-A-L-ness.
This has been something that you felt has been helpful to you in understanding more about narcissism.
Oh my goodness.
And maybe that will help somebody else who's in the same situation.
Yeah, because when I read these things, I'm just like, man, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having to deal with that.
I can't either.
So
I can't either.
At least the person who is living with the narcissist can do some things to try to keep the stress from
overtaking them.
Yes. And I think one thing is to definitely provide resistance against the gaslighting, blaming, because they blame you for everything. Sometimes, you just have to say okay and let it be, and don't go back and forth.
That's it.
But that takes a lot of guts,
because
your stomach probably just be on fire when somebody coming to you telling you
somebody accusing you of something that you know
you
is
didn't
false.
do. Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
that's tough, man.
That is very tough.
Anyway, we're praying for you if you're in that situation.
Yes.
We hope that you identify it today. We hope that you learn how to be able to cope with these situations, and we hope you find a better tomorrow. We believe that you can find it, but
gotta
through
get some
God.
help. Gotta get some help.
Definitely.
And definitely through God.
No question.
He has to be, because he's the only one that can change us.
Exactly right.
So
we'll see y'all next time.
all right, guys.
All right, y'all.
Bye.